6 different times this season in the fourth quarter, the Bears' chance to win was basically dead. But somehow, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears were able to overcome all of these deficits and odds and pull out a win in each of these games. Over those 6 wins, Chicago became the first team in NFL history to win 6 games in a season after trailing at the 2-minute warning. And the chances of the Bears coming back to win all 6 of those games? 1 in 2.49 million. And that's just the beginning of it, as it gets even crazier. But let's start out by looking at the Bears' record-setting 6 clutch comeback wins this season. The first comeback of the season for the Bears came Week 4 against the Raiders in Las Vegas. The Bears are down 5 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And now with the ball, Caleb Williams using his arm and legs would get the Bears down the field to set up a lead-taking touchdown by DeAndre Swift. This comeback wasn't super impressive as the Raiders ended up being the worst team in the NFL last season, but it was crazy that the Raiders had a chance to take the lead with 30 seconds left, but Josh Blackwell blocked the field goal to win the game. The second comeback would come Week 6 against the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. After that Zach Ertz touchdown, the Commanders would go up 8 with 11 minutes left, but on the Bears' ensuing drive on 3rd and 4, DeAndre Swift would break off a 55-yard touchdown to cut the lead to 2. Same score, 3rd and 1, 3 minutes left, and the handoff is fumbled, recovered by Nahshon Wright, giving the Bears life. A little bit of a lucky fumble there in the rain, but Nahshon Wright was all over it either way, and good on him to recover the fumble nicely. And that set up a Jake Moody 38-yard walk-off field goal. The next comeback is a weird one because the Bears were up 14 with 1:47 left. It's Week 9 against the Bengals and Joe Flacco, and they'd get back in this game with a Noah Fant touchdown and T. Higgins 2-point conversion. And against all odds and no timeouts, the Bengals would recover the onside kick, giving them life. T. Higgins would get them down the field. He had a great game, 7 of 9, 120 yards and some great catches. And on 2nd and goal with a minute left, Andre Yoshivash would find the end zone to give the Bengals the lead. And with 26 seconds left, Caleb would fire over the middle of the field to Colston Loveland, who would break a few tackles and break off a 58-yard touchdown to seal the deal for the Bears. Chicago had no timeouts. If he gets tackled there, they probably lose that game. The very next week, hosting Jameis Winston and the Giants, the Bears are down 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They'd finally put together a drive against a pretty solid Giants defense. Caleb would pick up a ton with his legs and find Odunze wide open in the end zone. Gardner Johnson's sack on 3rd down would get Caleb the ball back, and he would waste no time finding Luther Burden for 27 yards and then scoring a touchdown himself 2 plays later. And looking back, this comeback was bound to happen. You have the most clutch team going up against a team that is the worst at holding a lead in the fourth quarter. The next week, the next comeback again, 3 weeks, 3 straight comebacks. The Bears would be leading the Vikings 16-10 with just over a minute in the fourth quarter. But they'd need to come back after McCarthy would find Addison in the end zone for a 15-yard touchdown to give the Vikings the lead with 45 seconds left. You've only scored 16 points all game. You're going up against Brian Flores' defense. It's not looking good, but Devin Duvernay's huge return and then a DeAndre Swift 3rd down run would allow Santos to sneak through a 48-yard field goal as time expires, the special teams coming through clutch again. And then the most impressive of them all, Week 16 against the Packers. On 3rd and 6, the Bears defense did a great job at stopping Jaden Reed, forcing McManus to make a field goal to extend the lead to 10. They've only scored 6 points all game. Kmet would pick up a 1st down. Caleb would pick up 9 on 3rd and 10, forced to go for it on 4th and 1, and Caleb would go right back to his legs. And 4 plays later on 4th down, Santos would cut the lead to 7. Chicago has to go onside. It goes to the right, and it goes right through Romeo Doubs' hands and is recovered by the Bears. With about a minute and a half left, Chicago needs a touchdown. Loveland would get them across midfield, and DJ Moore would pick up a huge chunk from a great throw to the 12. The Bears would run a few plays, get 6 yards. It's now 4th and 4 from the 7-yard line. The game is on the line. It's all-out pressure from Green Bay. Caleb would back up, throw it into the corner of the end zone, and find Walker to tie the game on 4th down. But that was just to get to overtime. Malik Willis, 3rd and 1, across midfield, would look for the first down, but TJ Edwards would deny him. And 4th and 1, the Packers would fumble the snap. The game is in the Bears' hands. Monungai would get a first down on 3rd and 3. The very next play, Caleb Williams going for it all. DJ Moore, 46-yard touchdown. It looks like he gets knocked out after he catches it, and the Bears walk it off. And it wasn't just an incredible rivalry comeback. This was for the division. And it's Caleb Williams' second season after being the biggest draft prospect of all time. Ben Johnson's first year as head coach, and we all remember what he said at the beginning of the season.
And to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
You go back to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It looks like the Packers are going to win the NFC North. It looks like Ben Johnson is going to get swept by Matt LaFleur after what he said. Because just 2 weeks prior at Lambeau Field, the game was tied up 21-all until on 3rd and goal, Josh Jacobs would give the Packers a 7-point lead. Williams would work some magic with some great throws to Duvernay and Burden. It would come down to 4th and 1. From the 14-yard line, Williams would take the snap, roll out to his left, but he'd be late on his throw to Kmet and be intercepted in the end zone by Nixon. The Packers had everything. The division, a sweep on their division rivals, but the Bears would come in and take everything from them. So we've seen the Bears' 6 incredible NFL record-setting comebacks during the regular season. They would go on to win the NFC North in Ben Johnson's first year as head coach. And a big reason why the Bears won so many games this season and why they were in so many games and able to come back is because the leads never got too far out of reach, as their team led the league in takeaways, 33, and led the league in giveaways, only 11 offensive turnovers all season. And what do you know? When the wild card round of the playoffs was scheduled, the Bears would be set to host a playoff game. It'd be no one else but the Green Bay Packers. With lots of noise coming out of the Green Bay facility, talks of we're happy that we're playing the Bears in the playoffs, and they're excited to put their season to bed. And not only was this a revenge game for Matt LaFleur because of what happened this season, but there was talks that he was coaching for his job in this upcoming wildcard game because of his playoff coaching history. In 2019, LaFleur's first year as head coach, after beating the Seahawks, they lost to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. The subsequent year, MVP Rodgers and LaFleur lost to the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. And in his third season as head coach, his third year getting the 1 seed, the Packers lost to the 49ers again, this time in the divisional round. In Aaron's last year in Green Bay, they lost to the Lions Week 18 to miss the playoffs. Jordan Love then paired up with Matt LaFleur. After beating the Cowboys, things stayed the same, losing to the 49ers in the divisional round. Then last year, first round exits, losing to the Eagles. That's 3 seasons having a playoff bye, 2 seasons having an MVP quarterback, and a 3-5 playoff record. Nonetheless, the stage at Soldier Field was set for Saturday night's wildcard game. The Bears offense would start with the ball, they'd get down the field into the red zone, and Santos would end up giving the Bears a 3-0 lead. But Jordan Love and the Packers offense would come out hot, Dobbs picking up 33 yards, getting them down the field, and Watson capping off the drive with a 7-yard touchdown. Can't ask for a better start from the Packers, take a long drive down the field and take the lead. On the ensuing Bears drive, on 4th and 6, they'd elect to go for it. Caleb would drop back and send it up deep to nobody, intercepted by Valentine. Probably not the smartest interception due to field position, but it didn't matter because Golden would get the Packers right back down the field. And on 3rd and 9, Jaden Reed would give the Packers a 14-3 lead. And just a minute later, the Bears offense would be back out on the field on 4th down. Williams would bobble a snap, and it would be deflected at the line of scrimmage by Caleb, another turnover on downs. The offensive failure would instantly be turned into another Watson touchdown on 4th and 1. However, he fumbled at the 1-yard line. Luckily for the Packers, Dobbs would score on 4th and goal. Now down 21-3 within the 2-minute warning, Loveland would get the Bears across midfield. Another 4th down attempt, and they're keeping the offense out on the field. And it just keeps getting worse for the Bears as Caleb would fire incomplete looking for Loveland. Just before half, the Packers would get into field goal range, but McManus would miss a 55-yarder, sending the Bears with a little bit of momentum into halftime. But you're still down huge at home. It's not looking good. Early third quarter, Santos would knock down another field goal. The Bears would get the ball back, same score. They drive 80-plus yards down the field, get to the 5-yard line, and keep the offense out on fourth down once again. Caleb, an unblocked lineman in his face, would just throw up a prayer and it'd be picked off. And at this point in the game for Chicago, it's looking horrendous. You've turned the ball over on fourth down 4 times. You haven't scored a touchdown yet. It's almost the fourth quarter. You're down 15 points. And everyone's calling Ben Johnson a fool for the way he's calling these fourth downs. And on Green Bay's next play, one of the most wild sequences I've seen takes place. Love dumps it off to eligible lineman Kennard. He decks a defender, then fumbles and accidentally kicks the ball down the field. This is what the Bears have lived on all season, forcing turnovers. It looks like they're about to get another one with great field position and some momentum. This could be a game changer. But Dexter knocks the ball out of bounds. Everything is going horrible for the Bears. They can't recover a fumble, which they've done all season. They can't convert on fourth down. The one thing they have going for them is their defense is playing exceptional. They haven't allowed the Packers to score in the second half. Santos would knock down another field goal. The Bears defense would get Caleb the ball back again. Loveland would make some great catches from great throws, and Swift would cap off the drive, finally scoring a touchdown for the Bears. It's a one-possession game. You think the Bears are back in it until Golden would score his first career NFL touchdown, erasing everything the Bears just did. And with 6 minutes and 36 seconds left in the wild card matchup, according to ESPN, the Bears had a 4.6% chance to win. The Packers have only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter after McManus would miss the extra point. However, they have Josh Jacobs. They can run down the clock. The Bears need 2 scores. And later in their next possession, 4th and 8, game on the line. They're not even across midfield yet. Williams would escape, rolling out to his left, throw across his body and find Odunze for not just a first down, but 27 yards. One of the most clutch and impressive throws I've ever seen between 3 Green Bay defenders. If Williams doesn't make that throw, the Bears lose this game. They end up working down the field after getting the first down, and Olamide Zaccheaus would score the Bears' second touchdown of the game, and who else but Colston Loveland converting the 2-point attempt. The Packers aren't done, though. They still have a 3-point lead with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and the ball. Love would find Dobbs for 34 yards off a one-handed catch on 2nd and 8, and Golden would pick up another first down, getting the Packers just outside the red zone. The Bears would burn 2 timeouts to stop the clock. McManus would go up to kick a 44-yard field goal and miss another one, leaving a total of 7 points out on the field by his kicks. Caleb would keep firing to Loveland, who had a phenomenal game, and Swift would pick up a ton on 3rd down. And on the next play, just inside 2 minutes, Williams would fire to a wide-open DJ Moore for the lead off of a fake screen. Chicago has completed yet another impossible comeback, finally taking the lead, but the Packers still have 1 minute and 43 seconds left to tie or win the game. On 4th down and 7, Love would fire to Golden to the 45-yard line, and Jaden Reed would proceed to get the Packers across midfield. But after that, their drive would stall out, and as time expires, Jordan Love would fire into the end zone, incomplete, and the Bears would win again. And now with the game in the books, looking at over 50 years of playoff history, this game is already living in some extremely rare air, making it a top 4 playoff comeback of all time. And what's unbelievable is that playoff comeback wasn't just a random fluke. It's what this team did all season, comeback after comeback. The Bears and Caleb Williams were never dead. They never stopped believing. And they've cemented themselves as one of the clutchest teams ever. And I think part of it is because of Ben Johnson. I think he's a great coach. But my biggest reason is because of Caleb Williams. In these tight moments, stressful, bright lights, everything on the line, he continued to make the most incredible plays all season long. And I don't think it's going to stop at just this season. When you have someone like that as your quarterback, your team believes differently. He's made the biggest and most incredible throws in the NFL's biggest moments. And my takeaway from all of this is one day I believe he will win a Super Bowl. going back to when we looked at the probability of the Bears completing their 6 regular season comebacks. If you add on their wild card game, looking at their lowest ESPN win probability of those 7 games and analyzing it, the odds of winning and coming back in all 7 is 1 in 54.2 million. And on the other side of the ball for the Packers, it's just a nightmare ending. Parsons goes down and they end up dropping their last 5 games of the season. And Matt LaFleur coughs up another lead to Chicago in the playoffs. In revisiting my 2025 NFC North predictions, I'm not going to act like I nailed everything. I had the Lions finishing first and ended up last, but they did beat the Bears twice, and I made this video prediction 2 days before the Parsons trade went down. I thought that the Packers, without him, were the worst team in the NFC North, and at the end of the season, without Parsons, that seemed to hold true for the Packers. In the end, the Bears, incredibly clutch. Super exciting to watch. It'll be very fun to see what they can do in the future. I picked them to beat the Packers, and I have them beating the Rams round 2. But after that, I got the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl over the Texans. That's going to conclude my analysis for this video. If you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe, as I put a lot of time into these. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love seeing what you think. And as always, thanks for watching.
When the lights are bright, he's brighter than them lights out there.
We called the Cardiac Bears for a reason. Kind of brought up the New England and Atlanta game.
8 years I've been missing out on this playoff stuff, and now I got one under my belt.